I've been hearing stories about how there are white belts to start at Eco,
Hmm.
and I've heard stories about how some white belts beat black belts in competition, stuff like that we hear. So I am curious because I've only done a couple days now, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I
Hmm.
had so much fun. Like I feel like since I got my black belt 2.5 years ago, or 2 3/4 of a year ago, I felt like I've been stuck in
Okay.
the same patterns, the same
Hmm.
skill. I don't feel like I've had these big jumps.
Hmm.
But I think the way I learn, I think the CLA and eco stuff is very helpful for my brain because
Hmm.
I've mentioned it before with singing, for example. I
Uh-huh.
didn't start singing and screaming as good as I have done until right now. 26 years it took me to get like where I'm at today. And you got to see the show. I feel like
Uh-huh.
I'm doing it better than I've ever done it, but it's only been till this year. So I'm a slow learner. Like I have to fail a lot. And I know that's the process of jujitsu. But I
Hmm.
feel like with the eco games, if you've got a 5 to 10 minute game with one task, I have to turn and face my opponent. It's
Hmm.
that simple.
Hmm.
I found myself leveling up pretty quick in it. So I'm going to just do a lot of these CLA games
Uh-huh.
and do live rolling at the end of it and see where I get, see if I do
Hmm.
find progression. Same with guitar, for example.
Hmm.
Because guitar didn't really learn it traditionally. I didn't want to learn other bands' songs with guitar. I wanted to
Hmm.
make my own songs.
That's
I
cool.
wanted to I wanted to look at what I was weak at. I was like, okay, my
Hmm.
pinky is weak. Let's make pinky exercises for
Hmm.
myself.
Hmm.
And it was something strange of how I just never wanted to learn other people's thing. Of course, I learned Master Puppets, but it wasn't that many things. That's when people ask me, "Hey, Matt, can you play some covers?" I really don't know very many covers because I've really occupied the space in my brain with the stuff I try to figure out. So I'm trying to see how that relates to jujitsu because there have been
Hmm.
so many techniques that I have drilled countlessly. Some I've retained and some have kind of disappeared. And if I don't keep up with it,
Hmm.
it goes away. And I feel like maybe doing it some of these techniques, some of these concepts, eco or CLA, it might become a muscle memory versus a
Hmm.
brain
Hmm.
memory. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's the kind of memory I need.
Hmm.
We actually, so we've got that EP coming out, and the song is called Struck Dead, but in parentheses called Pain is Easier to Remember. And
Hmm.
that's a line that actually Paulo said to me because I had my mental breakdown, midlife crisis last year. And we
Hmm.
wrote these three songs kind of during it. And my wife said to me a couple times in my life, like anytime I've really fallen low, she's like, Matthew, your rock bottom has to be like if a normal person's rock bottom is here, mine needs to be here. I
Hmm.
need to fall so
Hmm.
hard and so
Hmm.
deep and so badly for me to learn my lesson. So it's like not, I can't just get subbed. I have to break my knee. Something
Hmm.
terrible has to
Hmm.
frickin' click. And so that's what that song is about. Pain is easier to remember. I'm not saying that I want to feel the pain in the CLA, but I feel like it's like I have to have this thing drilled in so inherently in me. I have to just focus on this one thing. Like, hey, today it's just chest to back games nonstop.
Hmm.
And then that's how I imprint to my brain.
Hmm.
So it's not really a knock on traditional jujitsu learning. It's more me understanding how my brain learns differently than
Yeah.
others and how
Yeah.
can I apply that to my life.
Yeah.
What's the next step of growth? And I think that it'll be, yes, I should, if I'm going to classes under my professor's incredible. Like, we're
Hmm.
going to be drilling, I'm going to be learning moves. But then in my downtime or maybe my rolling time, I'll spend 75% of them, I'll do CLA games and then do a little bit of rolling as well. Because before the last tour, when we're on tour, when you're hanging out with your buddies, you're like,
Hmm.
we should drill. Nah, let's just roll. And you just end up rolling the whole
Yes,
time,
yeah, yeah, I
which is awesome.
understand.
But I feel like with me, it'll keep me in the same patterns. And,
Yes,
and I want to
yeah.
see what these new patterns, these new
Hmm.
pathways I can make
Yeah,
are.
that's interesting.
I'm controlling his feet. Inside, outside, outside. Gives us less to worry about. Once you hit those 4 points, you win. Bottom guy, he's not really looking to stand, not really looking to sweep. He's just kind of looking to kill this. So bottom guy, it's gonna be tough. Questions? Break?